jurors have heard from survivors of a Georgia school shooting in the trial of the suspect's father. So far, 3 survivors have testified today, recounting that day. Here's one recalling the moments she first heard gunshots.
Okay, what happened?
It happened really quickly. I'm pretty sure there were gunshots, but the thing is, my brain didn't process any of the sounds that were coming into my ears. Next, with hold of my hand, all of a sudden felt weird, and I heard a ringing in my ear, and I looked down, and there was blood and seemingly a hole in my wrist. And around right up here, it was hurting.
Prosecutors say Colin Gray gave his son a gun despite sufficient warning that his son would harm and endanger the bodily safety of another. His son's accused of then using that gun to kill 4 people and injure 9 others in the 2024 Appalachia High School shooting. ABC News legal contributor Bernarda Villalona is here for more. Bernarda, what do you make of the survivors' testimony so far? What are the prosecutors trying to do here?
Yeah, so the testimony is very emotional and it is impactful. So the prosecutors are doing 2 things. One, of course, they're bringing the sympathy factor to what happened on that day. But 2, remember that he's charged with 29 counts, including those that were assaulted and that did not die as a result. So they have to bring out the charges and the elements having to deal with the fact that these children were impacted physically and emotionally in order to make out the charges.
The team leader of the trauma department at the hospital near the shooting also testified. Why is that kind of testimony important for the jury to hear?
Yeah, so the jury has to hear the full picture, the full story of what happened on September 4th of 2024. What happened inside the school? What were the actions specifically of the son on that day? But also they're going to tie it back to exactly what is it that the father knew? What was the foreseeability? What were the warning signs? Why the father should have known that something like this could have happened? So they're going to ultimately end up tying all of this together and pointing it right back to the father, because remember, the father was in the best predicament to know, one, that the son had a firearm because he provided him with the firearm, but also the warning signs in terms of the Discord posts, in terms of the shrine that he had inside of his bedroom to the Parkland school shooter, in terms of the text messages. And also, more importantly, also strong pieces of evidence is that when the cops went to the home on that same day after the shooting, one of the first things out of his mouth was, "I knew it." In addition to that, the text messages that the father had with the daughter, that they suspected that it was the son that was responsible for this. So everything is adding up, very traumatic, but it will ultimately all add up in the end, and the prosecutor is going to be able to tie it all up, doing closing arguments to make out these charges.
All right, ABC News legal contributor Bernarda Villalona, thank you.